5. Military and regional influence. From the very beginning of his presidency, Yoweri Museveni's leadership was tightly linked to the military. The National Resistance Army (NRA), which brought him to power in 1986, evolved into the Uganda People's Defense Force (UPDF), one of the most disciplined and effective militaries in East and Central Africa. Museveni's reliance on the army became central to his control at home and his influence abroad. Military is the backbone of domestic power. Museveni believed that a strong, loyal, and well-organized military was essential to national stability. The UPDF was deeply embedded in Uganda's governance, with many top government officials coming from military backgrounds. The army was involved in infrastructure development, disaster relief, and civil projects, which helped gain public support and loyalty from rural populations. Over time, Museveni's son, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, rose through the ranks and became a top general, fueling debates about military succession and dynastic ambitions. Regional interventions and influence. Museveni used the UPDF not only to defend Uganda but also to shape events across the Great Lakes region and East Africa. His military played a key role in regional stability and, at times, controversy. Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC). Uganda intervened in the First Congo War (1996–1997) to help rebel leader Laurent Désiré Kabila overthrow Mobutu Sese Seko. Later, during the Second Congo War (1998–2003), Uganda again intervened, this time pursuing security interests and access to resources. Ugandan troops were accused of looting Congo's natural resources, leading to a ruling by the International Court of Justice (ICJ) in 2005 that ordered Uganda to pay reparations to the DRC, a decision still debated and partly unresolved. These conflicts drew international criticism but demonstrated Uganda's military strength and strategic reach. South Sudan. Uganda played a major role in supporting the creation of South Sudan, offering training, weapons, and political support to the Sudan People's Liberation Army (SPLA). When South Sudan's civil war broke out in 2013, Museveni sent troops to defend the government of President Salva Kiir, a close ally, further cementing Uganda's influence in South Sudanese politics. Somalia. AMISOM mission. Uganda was the first country to deploy troops to Somalia under the African Union Mission in Somalia (AMISOM) in 2007. UPDF forces fought al-Shabaab militants, helped secure Mogadishu, and were praised by the international community for their role in counterterrorism and peacekeeping. This move boosted Uganda's image as a key Western ally in the fight against terrorism and secured military and financial support from the US and European countries. Museveni as a regional power broker. Museveni positioned himself as an elder statesman and mediator in regional politics. He helped broker peace talks in Burundi, Arusha talks, South Sudan, DRC political transitions. His long tenure gave him an image of experience and stability in a volatile region. Strategic military goals. Museveni has repeatedly emphasized a pan-African vision where African states are responsible for their own security. Advocates for African-led solutions rather than dependence on Western intervention. Pushes for the professionalization of African armies and regional integration through bodies like the East African Community (EAC). Criticism and controversy. Despite many successes, Museveni's military policies have not escaped criticism. Allegations of resource exploitation, human rights violations, and support for rebel groups in neighboring states. Concerns over military loyalty being used for internal political control, particularly during elections and protests. Growing perception that the military has become instrumental in sustaining Museveni's rule, rather than remaining a neutral state institution. Summary of Museveni's military and regional influence. Area description. Domestic power. Military secures Museveni's authority and national stability. Regional reach influenced DRC, South Sudan, Somalia, and Burundi. Peacekeeping. Key contributor to AMISOM and anti-terrorism operations. Alliances. Strong ties with the US, UK, and African Union. Criticism. Accused of over-reliance on force, regional interference, and nepotism. 6. Constitutional changes and re-elections. After coming to power in 1986, President Yoweri Museveni initially promised a transitional period to restore democracy and leave power peacefully. However, over the years, his government gradually removed legal and political barriers to long-term rule, allowing him to remain in office well into his 70s and beyond. His presidency has been marked by multiple constitutional amendments, controversial elections, and accusations of authoritarianism. 1995 Constitution, a fresh start. In 1995, Uganda adopted a new constitution under Museveni's government. It was widely seen as a progressive document at the time, laying down a two-term limit for the presidency, protections for human rights, civil liberties, and multi-party democracy, decentralized government, and a clear separation of powers. Museveni supported this constitution initially and was hailed for promoting democratic principles. 2005. Term limits removed. As Museveni neared the end of his second elected term in 2006, the constitutional limit of 2 presidential terms stood in his way. In response, Parliament passed an amendment in 2005 to remove presidential term limits. This move was highly controversial, with reports of bribery and political pressure on MPs to support the change. The decision was met with public protests, criticism from civil society, and international concern. Despite this backlash, the amendment allowed Museveni to run for and win additional terms in 2006, 2011, 2016. Each victory deepened concerns about entrenchment of power. 2017. Age limit removed. The 1995 Constitution also barred presidential candidates over the age of 75, meaning Museveni would be ineligible to run in 2021. To stay in power, Museveni pushed for another controversial amendment. In 2017, Parliament removed the presidential age limit. The debate turned violent, with fights breaking out in Parliament, and military police storming the chamber to eject opposition MPs. Outside Parliament, protests were met with arrests, tear gas, and beatings. This amendment cleared the way for Museveni, aged 76 at the time, to contest the 2021 elections. Ugandan elections under Museveni. Since 1996, Museveni has contested 6 national elections, and won all of them, often by large margins. However, these victories have been marred by allegations of vote rigging, ballot stuffing, and media bias, intimidation of opposition candidates, especially those gaining youth support, suppression of protests, arrests of critics, and shutdowns of internet services during election periods. Notable elections: 2006 and 2011. Marked by opposition challenges in court, but the results were upheld. 2016. Opponent Kizza Besigye was repeatedly detained, election credibility questioned. 2021. Pop star turned politician Bobi Wine, Robert Kyagulanyi, ran against Museveni. His campaign drew massive youth support but was violently suppressed. Bobi Wine was placed under house arrest, and international observers raised serious concerns about transparency and fairness. Justification and defense. Museveni has defended these constitutional changes and extended terms by arguing, Uganda still needs his experience and stability. The military remains crucial for peace and must be under trusted leadership. Term limits and age restrictions are undemocratic if the people still want a leader. Critics' viewpoint. Opponents argue that these changes undermine democratic progress and centralize power. The Constitution has been manipulated to benefit one man, not the country. Uganda is drifting toward authoritarian rule, with increasing reliance on military and surveillance. Summary. Constitutional engineering for longevity. Year change effect. 1995 new constitution introduced term and age limits. 2005 term limits removed, Museveni allowed to run indefinitely. 2017 age limit removed, cleared path for 2021 and beyond. Museveni's presidency is a classic case of constitutional personalization, turning national laws into tools for political survival. While he has maintained peace and economic progress, his long tenure has also weakened democratic institutions, restricted dissent, and created fears of presidency for life.